Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. Time is a funny thing. Time has a way of showing people what they really feel. See, you ain't got to chase nobody. You ain't got to beg nobody to love you. And you sure don't have to remind anybody of your worth. You just let time break him. Yeah, I said it. Let time break him. You got to understand something real clear right now. Your power is in your patience, not in your pursuit. See, a lot of people get this twisted. They think love is about chasing, about proving, about constantly reminding somebody that they should pick you. But real strength, real self-respect comes from knowing when to sit still and let life do the talking for you. Your patience is your weapon. It's the quiet storm that builds up and shakes the very ground the other person is standing on. When somebody thinks they can leave you and life is going to get better, let them go. Don't move. Don't react. Because every day you stay still, every day you choose patience over panic, that's the day the clock starts ticking louder in their ears. You see, chasing somebody only makes them run faster. But patience creates silence, and silence is powerful. Silence makes people think. It makes them reflect. It forces them to face the truth they're trying to avoid. Every time you don't call, every time you don't send that message, every time you don't show up where they thought you would, that silence echoes. And over time, that echo gets louder and louder until it becomes impossible to ignore. That's when regret starts creeping in. That's when memories hit harder. That's when everything they tried to suppress comes flooding back. And here's the thing. Patience is not weakness. Patience is discipline. It's saying, I know my worth and I'm not going to bargain with it. It's standing tall while the other person battles with their own choices. You ain't got to prove anything to anyone. You already did your part. You loved, you cared, you showed up. Now it's time to let time and distance do their job. Let them feel what life looks like without your energy, without your love, without your presence. Because trust me, that's a pain no one can escape when the love was real. People underestimate the power of absence. But let me tell you, absence hits different when it's coming from someone who was once your peace, your home, your light. Your patience is what turns that absence into pressure. And pressure busts pipes. It cracks walls. It breaks down egos. That same man who thought he could go on without you starts feeling the weight in places he never expected. His days start getting longer, his nights colder. Every place he goes reminds him of where you used to be. Every laugh feels a little emptier. Every success feels a little smaller. Why? Because your absence is working while you stay patient. Your silence is speaking while you stay still. Patience also protects your heart. See, when you choose patience over pursuit, you give yourself time to heal, to grow, to level up. You're not wasting energy running after somebody who made the choice to walk away. Instead, you're investing that energy into becoming even better, even stronger, even more unstoppable. And by the time they realize what they lost, you're already in a whole new place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that's the win right there. That's the victory that patience brings. You come out of this not broken, but built, not bitter, So don't let your emotions trick you into thinking you need to move fast. Fast moves often come from fear. But patience comes from power. Power that says, I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will come back, and what doesn't will stay gone. And either way, I win. That's the mindset you need to carry every single day while you wait. Because while they struggle with their silence, while they wrestle with their regrets, you're sitting in your strength, unbothered, unmoved, unshaken. And in the end, that's what changes everything. And you got to understand this right here. The longer he goes without you, the more it hurts. You see, people think that time heals all wounds, but let me tell you something. Time doesn't heal anything. Time reveals everything. Time reveals who's strong enough to survive without you and who's weak enough to fall apart when they realize you were the best thing they ever had. At first, when he leaves, it might seem like he's okay. It might seem like he's moving on, living his best life, smiling, laughing, doing everything like nothing ever happened. And maybe for a while, he convinces himself that he's fine. But what he doesn't understand is that every minute, every hour, every day that he goes without you, that pain inside him grows. It doesn't go away, it doesn't fade, it just gets worse. Because when love is real, it never really leaves. It stays with you, it haunts you, it eats at you from the inside out, especially when you try to ignore it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about those fake connections people have where it's easy to just walk away and forget about each other. I'm talking about something deeper, something genuine. When you've shared real love, real moments, real connections with somebody, time doesn't heal that wound, it just amplifies it. The more time passes, the more he realizes what he lost. The more he wakes up to the empty space in his life where you used to be. You think he's out there living his life? Nah, he's out there drowning in the silence. You think he's laughing with somebody else? Nah, he's lying to himself, trying to ignore that the laughter he had with you was different. It was special. It meant something. Every single moment he's away from you, the more he feels the weight of his decision. The longer he goes without you, the more that pain takes root, because deep down he knows. He knows he lost someone who could never be replaced. And no matter how hard he tries to push those feelings down, the truth always comes out. The truth of how much he misses you. And here's where your power lies. You're not chasing, you're not begging, you're not reaching out, because you already know he's got to feel that loss. He's got to sit with that silence and let it build inside him until he can't take it anymore. Because believe me, that pain will drive him back to you. If what you had was real, but you don't move, you don't chase, you let him feel it, you let time do the work. But this next thing I need you to understand is this. Self-respect means letting time do the work instead of chasing after somebody. Real respect for yourself is recognizing that you're worth more than just being a backup plan, than just being someone who is picked when everything else falls apart. You are not a safety net. You're not a second option. You're not someone to be called when all the other options fail. You're not someone to be treated like a placeholder. Real respect comes from recognizing that your time, your love, your energy is precious. And if someone doesn't realize that, then it's time for you to step back and let them learn. Now, don't get confused. Self-respect doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you don't want that person back. It doesn't mean you're not feeling the same emotions. But what it does mean is that you understand your worth. You understand that you don't have to fight for someone who isn't fighting for you. You don't have to beg for love that's not being offered. You don't have to convince someone that they should appreciate you, because that's their job, not yours. And when you have self-respect, you recognize that you don't chase, you don't run after anyone. You give them space to miss you, to regret their decisions, and to see what life is like without you. I know. It's hard. You want to pick up the phone, you want to reach out, you want to tell them how you feel. But real strength is in your ability to sit back, to control your emotions, to show that you value yourself more than to give someone the power to walk in and out of your life whenever they feel like it. Self-respect means standing tall even when you want to bend low. It means knowing that your value doesn't change because someone else doesn't recognize it. It means holding your ground, staying true to your worth, and not lowering your standards just to fill an empty space. And most importantly, it means trusting that time will reveal what the heart truly feels. You see, when you show self-respect, when you let time and distance do the work, the universe will align things for you. But if you keep chasing after people who don't see your value, you're just wasting time, wasting energy, and giving away your power. So let time do what it's supposed to do. Let it reveal the truth. Let it break the hearts that need to be broken, and let it bring back what's meant to. Pain grows in silence when love is real. Let me say that again. Pain grows in silence when love is real. You see, when love is genuine, it doesn't just disappear. It doesn't fade away quietly. No, it lingers. It festers in the quiet moments, in the long nights, in the spaces where there used to be laughter, where there used to be conversation. And when someone walks away from a love like that, they think they're escaping the pain. They think they can just leave it all behind and move on with their life, free from the weight of what they once shared. But what they don't realize is that the pain doesn't disappear. It grows. And it grows in silence. It grows in the moments where no one else is around, where there's nothing to distract them from the truth of what they lost. The silence is louder than any words. It's louder than any excuse, any justification for why things ended the way they did. The silence is deafening when you've shared something so real, so raw, that every moment apart feels like a piece of your soul is being ripped away. That's when the heart starts to hurt. That's when regret creeps in. The pain starts small, but over time, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And when they realize how much they miss you, when they realize how much they took you for granted, it's too late to fix it. That silence, it doesn't just affect the person who walked away. No, it affects them in a way they never imagined. It affects them in a way that they can't ignore, no matter how hard they try. You know, at first, they might try to fill that silence with distractions, work, friends, parties, other people, but nothing will ever compare to what they had with you. The laughter, the closeness, the shared moments, all of that is gone. And no matter how many distractions they throw in their path, they can't outrun the silence. They can't outrun the pain, that comes from knowing that they walked away from something real, something that had the potential to be beautiful. And over time, that silence becomes louder than any noise. It becomes the thing that haunts them every single day, every single hour, every single minute. But here's the thing you need to understand. This is not your burden to carry. It's not your job to fill that silence, to fix that pain. No, the pain they feel, the regret they experience is a result of their own actions. You didn't walk away from them. They walked away from you. And as much as they might try to ignore it, as much as they might try to distract themselves, they're not going to be able to avoid the consequences of their decisions. The silence will grow and it will hurt. And that hurt will be their reality. Now, I'm not saying this to make you feel sorry for them, not at all. I'm saying this because you need to realize the power you hold. The power is in your ability to let go, to let them sit with that silence. You don't need to chase after them. You don't need to reach out and try to fix things. You don't need to do anything except keep walking forward. Because that silence is doing the work. That silence is teaching them the lesson they need to learn. And as painful as it might be for them, that pain is what's going to push them to understand just how much they truly lost. But the beauty of it all is that this pain, this silence, it won't break you. It won't destroy you. You are stronger than that. You are more than capable of walking away from someone who didn't appreciate you. And as they sit in that silence, as they feel that pain grow, you keep moving forward. You keep growing, you keep becoming the person you were always meant to be. Because trust me, the longer they stay in that silence, the more it will break them down. And when they finally realize what they had, it's not going to be a sweet moment. It's going to be a harsh reality, a reality they have to live with. So while they hurt in silence, you don't have to wait for them. You don't have to sit around and hope that they come back. You don't have to sit in the same silence they're experiencing. No, you get up, you get stronger, you become better. You let them live in that silence and you live your life, knowing that your peace is not dependent on their return. Your happiness is not waiting on it. The pain will grow in silence, but so will your strength. And when the time comes, when they finally reach out, when they finally realize what they lost, you'll be so far ahead, so far beyond where they left you, that you'll realize you were never the one who needed to change. It was them all along. Your power is in patience, not in pursuit. Let me tell you, there's a difference between chasing someone and allowing the process to unfold naturally. We live in a world where instant gratification is everywhere. We want everything right now. If we want food, we order it and get it delivered. If we want information, we Google it. If we want love, we think we can just chase it down, make it happen, force it into existence. But real love, true connection, it doesn't work like that. It's not something you can force. It's not something you can chase. No, it's something that takes time, something that grows naturally, and something that requires patience. Your power lies in your ability to be patient, to trust the process, to let things develop on their own without constantly chasing after them. Think about it for a second. When you chase after something, you're putting yourself in a position of need. You're showing that you're willing to bend and compromise to get something you think you deserve. You're giving your energy to something that hasn't yet proven that it's worth your time. When you do that, you lose sight of your value. You start questioning your worth. You start thinking that you need to run after love, after attention, after validation. But here's the truth. You don't need to chase anyone or anything. You don't need to run after love. Love, respect, and true connection come when you give it space to breathe, when you allow it to develop in its own time. And the more you chase, the more you push things away. Now, let's be real for a second. It's tempting, isn't it? You see someone you care about pulling away, and your first instinct is to run after them, to remind them of your worth, to show them just how much you care. You want to be there. You want to make sure they don't forget about you, that they don't move on without you. But listen, chasing someone doesn't make them appreciate you more. It doesn't make them realize your value. It makes them run faster. It makes them take you for granted. You're doing all the work and they're just sitting back enjoying the ride. That's not love. That's a one-sided effort. Your power, your strength is in your ability to stand still and let time do the work. Time reveals the truth about how much someone values you. Time shows whether or not someone is truly invested in you. And most importantly, time gives them the space to realize what they could have, what they might lose, and what they should have held on to. You don't have to beg, you don't have to chase, you don't have to prove anything. All you have to do is stand firm, trust that the right person will come along and show you the love and respect you deserve, and be patient enough to let it happen. Patience is power because it allows you to take control of your emotions. Instead of rushing into something that might not be right for you, you take your time, you give yourself space to make the best decisions for your life. You're not desperate. You're not in a hurry. You know that what's meant for you will come to you in the right time. And when you have that kind of patience, you set a standard for the people in your life. You show them that you're not desperate for their attention, that you won't settle for less than you deserve. You show them that you know your worth and you're not going to compromise on it just to make them feel comfortable. And here's the thing, patience doesn't mean sitting around waiting for things to happen without doing anything. No, it means continuing to grow, to evolve, to focus on your own happiness and your own well-being while you wait. You're not waiting for someone to complete you. You're waiting for the right person to add to the happiness you've already created for yourself. Patience means building your life, your dreams, your goals, without relying on someone else to fulfill them. You know that love will come when the time is right, but until then, you're focused on living your best life. When you're patient, you send a message to the universe that you trust the process. You trust that everything will unfold the way it's supposed to. You trust that you're worthy of love and that love will come to you when the right person is ready to offer it. And when that person shows up, they're not going to be someone who takes you for granted. They'll be someone who appreciates everything you bring to the table, someone who recognizes your worth without you having to chase after them. In the end, patience is the ultimate test of your self-worth. It's the moment when you prove to yourself that you believe in your value, that you believe you deserve nothing less than what you're willing to give. And the more you practice patience, the stronger you become. You start to see how your life unfolds, how opportunities come to you, how people who truly deserve your love find their way into your life. And that's when you know you never had to chase anyone, because the right people always show up at the right time. The longer he goes without you, the more he feels your absence. You see, it's easy to think that people can just walk away from something real and never look back. But what they don't understand is that love, when it's real, doesn't just disappear. It stays. And it lingers in the background, in the silence, in the spaces where you used to be. You think they're out there moving on, living their life, being happy. But what they don't realize is that every single day without you, the more they're reminded of what they lost, the absence doesn't just fade away. It grows. It amplifies. And before they know it, they're feeling the weight of the decision they made. It doesn't matter how many distractions they put in front of them. The empty space that used to be filled with you will always come back to haunt them. You have to realize something important here. When you've had someone who truly loved you, someone who was a part of your world, you don't just forget them. You don't just move on without feeling it. Love like that leaves a mark. And the longer time goes by, the more that mark starts to hurt. You see, in the beginning, when they think they can just walk away from you, they might tell themselves it's no big deal. But as time passes, it gets harder for them to ignore the fact that you are a constant in their life, a source of happiness, a source of comfort. And as the days go by, they start to realize that nobody else can fill that space. Nobody else can make them feel what you made them feel. This is when the real pain starts to set in. The longer they go without you, the more they realize that they took you for granted. They start to feel the void, the emptiness where you used to be. It's the quiet moments when they're by themselves, when they're trying to fall asleep or waking up in the morning, that they feel it most. The laughter, the conversations, the simple presence that you brought to their life, all of that is gone. And no matter how many people they try to surround themselves with, nothing is ever going to be the same as it was when you were there. They might try to convince themselves they're fine, but deep down they know. They know something is missing, and that something is you. And here's where the power lies. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to beg. You don't need to chase. You don't need to send messages or try to fix things. You just need to keep moving forward. You see, when you walk away from someone, when you give them the space to feel that absence, you're giving them the opportunity to understand what they lost. You're letting time do the work. The longer they go without you, the more they feel the weight of their decision. And as they feel that weight, they'll start to question everything. They'll start to realize that maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they should have fought harder for you. Maybe they should have appreciated you more. But the thing is, you can't force someone to appreciate you. You can't make someone realize your worth. That's something they have to figure out on their own. And the longer they go without you, the more they'll be forced to face the truth. You were the person who gave them love, who gave them your time, your attention, your heart. And now they're left with nothing but the memory of it. And trust me, that memory doesn't fade easily. It gets stronger, it gets louder, and eventually it becomes a regret they'll have to live with. But here's what you need to understand. You don't need to wait for them to realize what they lost. You don't need to sit around and hope they come back. You keep going. You keep building, you keep growing, you keep evolving. You don't need their validation. You don't need their apology. Because while they're sitting in the pain of their absence, you're out there living your best life, moving forward, becoming stronger, becoming better. And by the time they realize what they had, you'll be in a place that they can't reach. You'll be in a place where their return doesn't matter anymore because you've already leveled up, you've already moved on, and you've already learned that the only person you need to depend on for happiness is you. So let them feel the pain. Let them sit with the emptiness. Let them experience the weight of their decision. You've done your part. You've loved, you gave, you showed up. Now it's time to let them learn the lesson they need to learn. The longer they go without you, the more they'll realize that what they had with you was something rare, something special, something worth holding on to. But by the time they figure that out, it may be too late for them to get you back. Time is a powerful teacher. It teaches lessons no words can, no arguments can, and no apologies can. You see, when somebody loses someone good, someone loyal, someone who loved them deeply, time steps in and starts whispering truths they tried to ignore. At first, they feel free. They feel light because they think they've made the right move. They fill their days with noise, new people, busy schedules, and fake smiles. But time, oh time, has a way of peeling all that away day by day, minute by minute. Time makes them face what they really did. It doesn't rush, but it never fails. It keeps knocking until they have no choice but to open that door and look at what they left behind. You have to understand there is no escape from time. A man can lie to everyone else, even to himself, but time doesn't care about lies. Time keeps moving, and with each passing day, the truth gets clearer. That truth starts small, like a quiet thought at the back of his mind, but as the days go by, that thought gets louder. It grows until it's all he can hear. Time shows him the difference between temporary happiness and lasting peace. Time shows him that the people he surrounded himself with after you are not you. They don't love him like you did. They don't care like you did. They don't bring that warmth, that comfort, that deep connection he once had. And time makes him compare every single day. Every birthday that passes without your call. Every holiday where he expects your text but gets nothing. Every ordinary Tuesday that feels emptier than it should. Time makes sure he feels all of it. And slowly, what he once took for granted becomes the very thing he craves the most. That's what time does. It turns blessings ignored into blessings mourned. It turns what he thought was replaceable into what feels irreplaceable. And that's when the pain deepens, because time also brings clarity. Clarity that he had love, real love, and he let it slip through his hands. Now, here's where your strength comes in. While time is working on him, it's working on you too. Time is healing you, shaping you, building you back up stronger. And the best part, time is giving you the distance you need to see everything clearer. You start realizing that the love you gave was rare, that your loyalty, your patience, your sacrifices, they were gold. And maybe he didn't see it when he had it, but time is making sure you see it now. Time is reminding you that you don't have to go back. You don't have to shrink yourself just because he's finally waking up to the reality you already knew. See, time plays fair. It gives each person exactly what they need. It gives him regret, reflection, and pain to teach him the value of what he lost. And it gives you growth, healing, and wisdom so that when he finally reaches out, when he finally says, I messed up, I see it now, you'll have the strength to say, it's too late. Or even if you choose to forgive, you'll do it from a place of power, not desperation. Time puts everything in its rightful place, and the longer he goes without you, the deeper the lesson cuts. That's why you don't have to do a thing. You don't have to send reminders. Don't have to prove your worth. Don't have to chase closure. Time is doing all of that for you, quietly, powerfully. So while he's sitting in his silence, haunted by memories, counting the days and feeling that ache grow stronger, you on the other side, rising, shining, and reclaiming every piece of yourself. Time is your ally, and the longer it stretches out, the more the tables turn. That's the law of life. That's the power of letting go. You let time teach you, and while you let time heal you, and when it's all said and done, you'll stand tall, knowing that what was meant for you will never require you to suffer to keep it. And what couldn't see your value in the moment will always feel the pain of losing you for a lifetime.